On a snowy train ride, Yuki, our female lead, is on a daze thinking about how she was able to get a really cute dress at the sale. Yuki saw Rin's, her friend's post on Instagram and tap a heart thinking how nice it is. Suddenly, a man pats her shoulder to get her attention. She was surprised and thought that he might be a foreigner asking for directions. Yuki struggled to communicate with him, then another man showed up. The guy asked if she needs help, and he steps in and talks with the guy instead. Yuki notes that thankfully there is someone who understands him showed up. She notices that he has silver hair and wonders if she saw him somewhere before and remembers that he's in the same club as Rin. The guy finally left, and Yuki thought he really saved her. Yuki turns to the guy and communicate with him in sign language, and he saw that she wears a hearing aid. She realized she can't use sign language and types on her phone instead. The guy grabs her phone and asks if she can read lips or not. She answered it with gesture means a bit closer. I see, he said. He begins to explain what happened earlier, that the guy just now was fluent in Japanese. She thinks that the way he looks at her is like she's a rare living thing. He leans forward to Yuki and tells her this is his first time to meet someone like her. She internally shouted, "Hey!" She immediately types on her phone and shows it to him saying, they were from the same university and her friends with Rin from the international club. The guy tilts his head and Yuki notes she can't see his lips this way. He tells Yuki that he is getting off at the next station and asks if she is getting off too. Yuki notes it is now easier to read his lips than it was before. She types on her phone, she'll get off at station after this one, and showed it to him. He tells her bye, but she can't hear it. He passed through Yuki and pats her head. The guy gets off the train while Yuki's eyes follow his trail. He meets her gaze and says, "See you." Yuki notes how this guy, after meeting someone like her for the first time, was not perplexed and even said something like "see you." This is Yuki's world. She's been deaf since she was born, and her world is a world without sounds. She notes that there is a vibration that has started to rise inside of her and became aware of it after she got off the train. While in the university, Rin shows a picture of a guy and asks if it is this guy. Her eyes sparkle and understands that is a yes. Rin tells her she got it and notes that it is Itsuomi who helped her. Rin started typing on her laptop to tell Yuki that they should properly thank him and remembers he must have come back from Canada now. He is often going on backpacking abroad, tells Rin. Yuki remembers that's why he had that baggage with him. Rin grins at her and tells her how cute her face is. Is it love? She asks. This makes Yuki blush and tries to erase it and notes it's way too early to call it love. Then, are you attracted to him? Rin asks again. She types on her phone, asking Rin if that is what it means to be attracted to someone. She notes she guessed so. Yuki thought that is what it means to be attracted to someone. Rin mentions she is attracted to the cafe bar manager where Itsuomi works part-time. And he is also Itsuomi's cousin. It is nearby and Rin suggests maybe they can go and eat something there. Yuki wonders if it's okay to go there, but she likes to see him again. Rin suddenly trembles and remembers she gets really nervous when talking to the shop manager and couldn't even ask him about his contact information. Yuki discovers that Rin has this side as well. She encourages her to believe in herself and also types that Rin is cute. Rin grabs her hand and tells Yuki she believes she can do it if Yuki accompanies her. Yuki squeezes her hand in response. Rin hugs Yuki and tells how she likes her so much. Yuki types in her phone to tell Rin that she too wants to ask Itsuomi about his contact information. Rin and Yuki now arrive at the cafe bar. Rin texts Yuki that she's really not into the shop manager but she's here because Yuki is too cute. Yuki replies, of course, Rin is cute as well. Suddenly, Rin stiffens and asks Yuki if her outfit's not weird. Yuki gave her a thumbs up. And Rin replies that her clothes are nice as well. They enter the shop and find Itsuomi. Yuki notices how his appearance is different, and it made her blush. She thought how cool he is. Rin thanks Itsuomi for helping Yuki at the train the other day. The shop manager, Kyuya, notices her that she came by again and it made Rin flinch. Yes, Rin nervously replies. Kyuya said thanks and notice Yuki asking Rin if she's a friend of hers. He greets her good evening and tells to take her time. But Yuki is looking at the menu so she hasn't noticed it. He wonders why she is not responding, and Rin explains to him her situation. Itsuomi looks at Yuki while she is busy looking at the menu. Yuki realizes that Kyuya and Rin are now talking about her because she can understand situations like this very easily. This made her a bit uncomfortable and Itsuomi notices it. He grabs Yuki's head making her notice him and asks if she drinks alcohol or not. This surprises Yuki and thought that was quite pushy. Itsuomi bring a white board to Yuki and she realizes he was asking for her order. She thought what he did, she can interpret it as something with a positive meaning. Yuki writes on the whiteboard that she's still 19 years old and orders oolong tea instead. Rin orders beer. Rin is telling something to Yuki but can't properly read her lips. Rin wrote on the whiteboard instead that Itsuomi is trilingual. He can speak 3 languages and shows it to Itsuomi also. Yuki wrote a question of which languages he speaks. He wrote a reply, English and German. This amazes Yuki and claps thinking how amazing he is. He stares at Yuki's reaction and added he also knows a bit of Chinese. This also amazed Yuki and again he added he is studying Spanish. This further excites Yuki while Itsuomi stares at her reactions. Kyuya calls Itsuomi interrupting them and asks him to take the orders of the seats in the back. Yuki's gaze follow Itsuomi and finds a group of foreigners behind them. Suddenly, one of the girls kissed Itsuomi in the cheeks and shocked Yuki how she kissed him like it's completely normal. She wonders if that was a greeting just now and thought how he's used to being around foreigners. Yuki notes that he's someone who has already seen various places in the world. Yuki later notices Rin shaking nervously. Then suddenly, she saw the 2 exchanging numbers. Yuki wants that, too, and wonders what kind of feeling Rin felt when she asked him. If she writes it down, she guesses it will become a heavy feeling. Yuki wonders which language the foreigners and Itsuomi are using. English? German? Japanese? In the end, Yuki couldn't ask him. Rin asks if she can just give her his number. Itsuomi ran to them and says he's now off, and asks if he should send her home or not. Rin burst out that of course he can. She is living close by and asks Itsuomi to send Yuki home. Rin tells Yuki to give it her best. Yuki glances at Itsuomi's direction and surprised her that he's still waiting and stares at them. They both nod at each other. Yuki notes to herself that she is now walking next to him. She wonders how she can ask him about his number. She wonders when's the right timing and notices he is walking fast. He looks at her and suddenly pulls her to the roadside and saw there is a motorcycle that went by. This surprises her. She felt his hand still grabbing on her shoulder and it made her blush. He tells her to watch out. Then he grabs her hand, as they continue walking. Yuki thought he is holding her hand so normally and he has rough and big hands. It seems like she is lost in this open air and snow. She feels her fingers hot already. It's like she expands her sensibilities as a human. Even though she cannot say it, she wishes he wouldn't let her go. She notices the snow is starting to pile up on their arms and wonders if what she's thinking right now will erode and never be transmitted to him. Yuki pulls his hand making them to stop walking. He glances at her and saw Yuki typing on her phone. He tried taking a peek but Yuki turned around to hide what her typing and when she is done she showed it to Itsuomi and closed her eyes. It says, "Could you please tell me your contact information if you like?" Itsuomi nods at her then asks how can you say, "It's fine," in sign language. Yuki taught him the sign language and he copies her as his reply. Yuki looks at the new friend on her messaging app. Itsuomi texts her to ask which way is her house. She replies they're already close to the station and the rest is fine and thanks Itsuomi. Itsuomi waved to Yuki before they both walk away. Yuki texts him to ask a question, "Is the world wide?" He replies, "Amazingly wide." Yuki wonders which parts of the world he has already seen. Then he suddenly texts Yuki, he would like to get to know Yuki's world. Yuki turns around and thinks how she should respond. Itsuomi also turned around to Yuki. As she was thinking a way to respond, Itsuomi widened his eyes as Yuki let go of the umbrella and saw how she makes an O with her arms to say okay. He reminds her of her umbrella. Yuki waves at Itsuomi happily. Yuki feels she exaggerated. She thought how he appeared in her world without any logical connection. Yuki thought she don't know how to stop this feeling, while seeing Itsuomi smiling at her. Since then, Yuki thought about Itsuomi many times. A fluffy and bright feeling has begun to accumulate in her heart.